Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jay. I want to talk a little bit about sad, unfortunate news that to report today that Patriot Del Wilkes has passed away at the age of 59 years old. Um, Many people know the Patriot as a professional wrestler, a former football player, an All-American professional wrestler. Um, yeah, some of my fondest memories of the Patriot was his time in WCW when he was a tag team partner with Marcus Bagwell, and they won the tag team championships from Pretty Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, and Paul Roma. And they feuded a lot with the Nasty Boys, and they feuded a lot with Harlem Heat. Um, I think they were the tag team champions like two times. It was one of those tag teams. He was in one of those tag teams with Bagwell, Marcus Bagwell, in the mid 1990s in WCW was one of the best um, the best was a tag team specialist. He was the Marty Jannetty of WCW at the time. He had Two Cold Scorpio as a partner. He had the Patriot as a partner, and then he had Scotty Riggs as a partner. But during this time, he had the Patriot, and then of course the Patriot moves on to WWF. They're doing the Bret Hart anti-American gimmick, where Bret Hart is pro-Canadian and he's anti-American. He's talking a lot of crap about America. So who do you bring in when you have Bret Hart talking so much crap about America? You bring in the Patriot. The Patriot comes in. He works a couple of programs with Bret Hart, most famously in the flagpole match at Bad Blood '97 when it's Bret Hart and the British Bulldog versus the Patriot Invader. There's a famous there's a famous um, kayfabe commentaries 1997 year in review retrospective in which Jim Cornette is talking about he's at a production meeting, and Jim Cornette is like, "Well, what about the Patriot? Because everybody's talking about Sable, they're talking about this wrestler, that wrestler, and he wants to know what about the Patriot and what does that mean? What about the Patriot? Is it the at the time when they were doing the anti-American gimmick, like go back in my '90s review video, the Hart Foundation was good guys in England, and they were good guys in Canada, and they were good guys all outside the United States. But in the United States, they were bad guys. But outside the United States, they were good guys, and the guys feuding with them, like the Patriot, were bad guys. But Jim Cornette was saying at that time that the Patriot should be a pure babyface. He should be a pure. He shouldn't be like a heel in Germany or a heel in England or a heel in Canada and a babyface in the United States. He should be a pure babyface. That was his gimmick, a pure babyface, like a Lex Luger type. From that, like Lex Luger in 1993. Well, they don't do that with him. They have him completely be beat down by the Hart Foundation, and his character is completely destroyed. But his music, the music that he used as a the music that he used as a wrestler in WWE, later became the famous "You Suck" music that Kurt Angle would use a year later. Patriot left the WWE in 1998. Kurt Angle would go on to use that music when he debuted in 1999. In 2007, the Patriot did a documentary on Chris Benoit, on the death of Chris Benoit, the double murder suicide, where he talked about deaths in wrestling and drug use in wrestling. Chris Canyon was featured in it, and he was featured in it. And unfortunately, he talks a lot about his use of cocaine and anabolic steroids that led to his downfall. But yeah, rest in peace to the Patriot, man. Um, he also, besides wrestling in WCW and WWE, where I remember him, he also was featured prominently in Global Force. I mean, not Global Force Wrestling, Global Wrestling Federation. wrestling organization based out of Houston, Texas in the early 1990s that Bruce Pritchard was a part of briefly when Bruce was let go from WWE, and they hired him in this organization here to work. And he has an episode on this podcast that talks about it. And he talks about the Patriot. So anyway, rest in peace to the Patriot Del Wilkes. 59 is a very early age to go out with a heart attack. Like I said, remember them most for being part of Stars and Stripes in 1994. I always loved Marcus Bagwell, so I always loved the tag teams that Marcus Bagwell, who would later become Buff Bagwell, was in, and the Stars and Stripes was one of them. I didn't really like him in WWF because, like, he seemed a little bit anachronistic, being that it was the beginning of the Attitude Era, and you had this all-American type babyface, and that's why a lot of people didn't get him. And Jim Cornette really didn't get that either. Jim Cornette's like, what about the Patriot? you know. Anyway, yeah, rest in peace to Del Wilkes. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell button. See when my next video is coming out. Peace. Rest in peace to Del Wilkes.